Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. Alright, have and have not fans. Honestly, since I put out the episode review and trailer breakdown earlier than usual, I figured, okay, maybe I wouldn't do any new videos until Thursday or Friday. But after having a few conversations with other have and have not fans, I talked with my mom over the phone during her lunch break a few hours ago, just talking about last night's episode. And just a side note real quick, in the comments below, let me know what you thought of the episode. I mean, I did my episode review already. You can comment on that video as well. But online, I saw a lot of negative feedback. A lot of people like, nothing happened and Tyler Perry needs to either hire new writers and stuff. And I mean, it wasn't like the best episode, but I thought it was pretty damn good. I mean, I thought it was decent. So I mean, just my opinion, But really, I actually had the conversation with another fan, Candace, not Candace Young. But we were just talking about Katheryn, Veronica, and a few other characters. Like, I'll probably do more videos after this one. This video is going to be Katheryn focused. I'll probably do another video about, Hannah and Malik, or let me just say Hannah and the man who broke into her house. And then another video about Veronica because, yeah, we have to talk about Veronica. But Katheryn Cryer, we were just talking about, and I think I've done a couple of videos on this in the past, but since, the show is on fire again, I figure why not capitalize on that. But just bringing up something about her. I mean, Wyatt's in jail because Katheryn turned him in because it was the right thing to do, and the fact that her and Jim have neglected to be good parents. I mean, it's one thing to give your kids everything in the world except for yourself. I mean, it doesn't matter how much money, it doesn't matter what schools they go to, nannies, babysitters, teachers, instructors. If the parents aren't present, that's definitely going to jack up the children because what do they say? The greatest experience is life itself or something. I don't remember reading that somewhere, but you just your parents' example. I mean, looking off how the parents treated them. It wasn't the only thing I really feel like Katheryn and Jim did was shelter their children and neglect them. I mean, to be honest, we don't even know how they were raised for the most part. I mean, Katheryn was probably in a similar situation, but at least she had three other siblings. This is like early episode season 1 stuff. I don't remember all that stuff off the top of my head because this video is like a spur of the moment kind of thing. But yeah, that would be very interesting. And I know Hannah said an interesting line back in last week's episode when she's like, your mother must be very proud of how you turned out, how she raised you. And Jim just looked at her. I was wondering, does that mean we might get some more information about Jim's backstory? That would be pretty nice, about his parents. But in any case, what I think Katheryn said one time, his mother was a true bitch. I think she said that once, but that could have been used to describe many other characters. But really, this video is about Katheryn doing the right thing for her son. But it just seems really hypocritical because Wyatt definitely, and I said this before, I really don't know why Wyatt doesn't bring up the fact that he took the video from the Malone bar, because that could be used in his defense because he literally was defending himself. From the law, the standards, that may get him out of jail temporarily for now until maybe there's a trial. But at the same time, the Malones will still want to kill him, and I doubt they would call off the hit or upcoming hit on Wyatt because of the fact that, Vinny was trying to kill him because of the fact that it was a bad drug deal. Like, I mean, in Vinny's, drug dealers, that's what happens when you don't pay them. But at the same time, Vinny should have stuck to his gun, no pun intended, and not give Wyatt the drugs until he had the cash in hand. Due to the fact that I get it, the bartender saw Wyatt was really in need of a hit. But at the same time, it's like, well, unless he has the money, I don't care. I mean, I'll take the car as collateral. I mean, I don't see why that wasn't done, but I'm just rambling on here. What I'm trying to say is this. I just feel like, people talk about Hannah being a hypocritical Christian and whatnot, but she's never murdered anyone that we know of. So I mean, for Katheryn to want to do right by her son, which is not always the easy thing, and finally put him away because he has a lot of inner demons, it just seems like a bad thing for the character. I mean, here's my thing. I think it would have been better if Katheryn was never written to kill Jennifer Salison, because number one, I feel like Jennifer's murder was one of the most useless and uninspired murders in the entire series. I mean, going back, Amanda, oh, it was a suicide, but now it's like this murder mystery, which is, well, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I'm kind of like, I don't really care. It's been so long since it's happened in our time, not in the show's time, because as we established, what was it, last week's episode? It hasn't even been 3 months, but remember, I did a video a couple of months ago talking about how much time has passed on the show, and trucks are in the parking lot. Sorry if you hear background noise. When after the car wreck earlier this year, when Melissa and Veronica were in the hospital, the doctor asked Melissa, how far are you along your pregnancy? I don't know, 2.5 months. And then we get the confirmation, when Veronica's talking with the paramedics, that she's about, not even or around 3 months along in the pregnancy. So that was not long enough for the baby to be saved. And on top of that, keep in mind the show started in 2013, and in that video I talk about specific details which actually confirm the fact that since the very first episode, where Jim opens the door and Candace is there, Hannah is in her interview with Katheryn to be a maid at Crier Estate, and Jim's 50th birthday party, all that happened from that episode all the way to where we are now in the show. I guess you could just say Tuesday night's episode. It hasn't even been 3 months, and it's still 2013. I mean, I guess you could say the recent event is the fact that, there's a presidential election. Oh, wow, I feel stupid because I really don't keep up with politics. But don't presidential elections occur usually in the fall, so around October or November? So August, I guess you could say the show is around the holidays, so to speak, in the last 3 months of the year. But in any case, look at the fact that when we talk about murders, Amanda's murder, there was some mystery and intrigue about it. The bloodbath that Jim Crier called, Terrell, Professor Cannon, Toxic. I mean, all of those deaths had significance. Yeah, they were like, what's the term, tertiary characters, like C and D characters, but they still had a role in the main plot. So their deaths actually had weight because, in a sense, okay, we understand why they're being killed. Maggie Day, I mean, yeah, her death was kind of thrown under the rug, but at the same time, it actually made sense because of who she was dealing with. I mean, Veronica has the attitude of, if I can't have my husband, nobody can, kind of, thing going on. Oscar's death, I mean, yeah, it was something that wasn't a spur of the moment for Candace, but we understand why it happened. And Warlock, him being killed with his crew. But Jennifer Salison's death, I mean, it's like Katheryn was being written to be this mama bear, on the prowl because somebody was hurting her cubs, which was a good analogy. I think Jim said that in the episode where him and Katheryn are looking around Amanda's room trying to find clues, and Jeffrey is with Jennifer and a detective in the backyard confessing to everything. And I mean, there were scenes and these moments just prove that Katheryn Crier should be in jail simply for stealing the show anytime she's in a scene. After the Criers and Harringtons were arrested, her and Jennifer had many a standoff moments, and that laid down some of the best Katheryn Crier dialogue, just the delivery of the lines. And in several of those instances, we heard Katheryn threatening Jennifer. So if Katheryn were the one to kill Jennifer, it's like, oh wow, it was something that was foreshadowed several times, but to have it actually happen is awesome. But the thing was, it's almost like after the event actually happened, it's like Katheryn's character was rebooted. Like, it just didn't make sense. A badass Katheryn moment, yeah, because she turned the Crier estate into a house of horrors, going from shooting Jennifer multiple times and pointing the gun at Veronica, then chasing her around the house with a knife. And it was great stuff. But the death itself seemed very meaningless because nobody's life was in danger. True, you could say that Wyatt's life was in danger due to the fact that, well, because Jennifer did not give the money back, that led to him overdosing, which was exactly what Katheryn was saying. The money would kill him. But to be honest, that's not Jennifer's fault. I mean, to actually give him a drug test, and then remember he what was it? He got something from his pal, who was his drug dealer or main man, to cheat the test. I forgot. Look, I don't know about drugs that much. I just know he did something where he was able to filter his piss or urine so he can pass the test and be clean, despite the night before getting high as hell. So basically, Jennifer should have been responsible instead of striking again, just using Wyatt to get back at the criers. I think she really should have taken it seriously and gave Wyatt maybe a portion of the money so he can at least live away from his parents. That's understandable. But to give him access to that much money, you know, it was just out of spite. So yeah, I can understand why Katheryn would be pissed off, and it's like, look, fine. And she asked one more time, Jennifer, I'm going to ask you one last time. Give me back the money to save my son. No! And then she stood up, boom, boom, bitch, and she was dead. So that was that. But I mean, while again a badass moment, it just seemed one, very out of character for Katheryn, two, a very senseless death. I mean, once again, aside from Wyatt destroying himself, nobody's life was on the line. There was no big fight going on. It would have been a different situation if, you know, Jennifer came in there, then got into like a major fist fight with Katheryn. But that, I mean, it made no sense to me. Like, I feel like Jennifer Salison's character had so much more. Like, we learned that she was looking into the homicide, not suicide, of Amanda Cryer. We were being hinted at a possible romantic thing between her and David in the past, and what Jim scoffed at Katheryn, saying that, yeah, I slept with her the night of our honeymoon. While you were asleep, I went to the room over next to us and slept with Jennifer. I mean, we don't know if that was true. Just the way he said it was like sarcasm, but with Jim, you just never know. I feel like the weight of Jennifer's death meant nothing to the grand scheme of the plot. I mean, I feel like there were some unanswered questions and storylines that could have been used with Jennifer. Not to mention the fact that nobody's been on trial for this. I mean, yeah, George is trying to scrape up a case, but Sarah's given away all the evidence to Jim and revealed about Gia. And now Wyatt refuses to testify because he can't get out of jail. Because remember, his mom. Isn't that ironic? Because Wyatt was going to testify in order to get immunity from the Benny and Little Lizzie hit and run situation. And Katheryn wanted Jim to cover it up. Now, in this situation where Wyatt is in a bad drug deal and literally is in self-defense, but doesn't kill the guy, is turned in by his mother into jail. And now Wyatt doesn't even want to testify in order to help put his parents away because he wants them put behind. It makes no sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, Katheryn Cryer is one of my favorite characters on the show, but I feel like having her commit cold-blooded murder, not defense, cold-blooded murder, and she planned this. She literally arranged it for Veronica to call up Jennifer to set up a meeting at her house, even got the gun out of a vault. So what was it, premeditated? Is that the correct term? This was a planned murder. Like, Wyatt didn't plan to not have money in his account the next morning. Wyatt didn't plan to have his life on the well. To be fair, Vinny did warn him. It's like, if you don't pay me, I'm going to F you up. So technically he knew what was going to happen. But at the same time, you know, it was a spur of the moment. This guy's going to kill me. I'm going to break this bottle and slit his throat. But with Katheryn, it just seemed out of character. And then after, you know, her getting the divorce from, well, in that amazing moment of having those movers clean out the house and her standing on the stairs saying that she wants a divorce and then leaves, I'm like, we have the birth of a new Katheryn Cryer. Then next season, her character is like completely brought back to like season 1 where her and Hannah are on goody terms and all is good, well with the world. I mean, it makes no sense. I don't know. Will she ever fess up to her crime? I mean, to be honest, at the end of the series, which again, I don't even know when it is, who's going to jail? I honestly don't even know if the question is who's going to die, who's going to make it to the end of the series. I want to know who's going to jail for what crimes. I mean, at the end of the day, trust and believe that Jim, Veronica are the main one, and Candace are like the main people that need to be behind bars. But I mean, David had his hand in the, the burnt cookie jar. Oh, burnt. That was a bad terminology given the recent events in his life. I mean, Veronica has dirt on everyone, but at the same time, Katheryn was the one that okay. In terms of committing murder, Katheryn is the only one to do so. Like, yeah, Veronica had things arranged and planned, but at the same time, she's never physically killed someone herself. Jim was about to kill Professor Cannon in the Durham parking lot unless Katheryn stopped him. I know he was beating and kicking him, but I feel like he really would have took it that far. David, nope. I mean, he did threaten to break Benny's neck, but that fight was just really pitiful. I remember the preview for the episode and the trailer made it seem like it was going to be a great fight, but then it was just like a blink and you miss moment in the actual episode. So that was weird. And then, yeah, I mean, shoot. Aside from Amanda almost popping somebody before she allegedly got popped off herself, Katheryn is like one of the few. Candace did push Oscar out of a window, but I'm talking about like the halves right now. So yeah, Katheryn is one of the few, if only, characters who actually kills someone herself on screen. I mean, yeah, we know about the priest and whatnot, but I'm talking about on screen. So what do you guys think? Do you think Katheryn is eventually going to turn herself in? I would be very interested to find out what would happen if Hannah learns that Katheryn was the one that killed Jennifer Salas, and how would she look at her friend? Would she tell Katheryn to turn herself in? Would it be a situation where, well, you know what, the right thing to do was to turn your son in for what he did, not just because it got Benny out of jail. Hannah literally was telling the truth, but at the same time, it's like, would she tell Katheryn to do the same thing? Would Hannah snitch? I don't know. I mean, so many things wrong. I mean, there's theories about Katheryn dying and then, the will where she left Hannah $5 million, or, because her cancer comes back. What if Katheryn goes to jail? Would she sign over some documents leaving money to Hannah? I can see that happening, because remember, if Katheryn goes to jail, Hannah doesn't have a job, meaning she doesn't get paid, meaning she can't upkeep the house she's staying in. So I don't really know. Some certain things need to fall into place if Katheryn were to go to jail. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Putting the case that George is trying to build and all this stuff, somebody snitching and finding out the truth. Let me know, do you think Katheryn Cryer herself should come out and say, hey, I murdered Jennifer Salison and set my house on fire to get rid of evidence? But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really feel like this is something that should be explored, because I feel like having a main character kill someone in cold blood, it shouldn't be something that's treated like an afterthought in the series. Just my opinion. But don't think this makes me love Katheryn Cryer even less. It's just in terms of the writing, I really don't like the direction they're going with. I mean, you could probably say, well, maybe in 2019 they'll bring it up again, but this is something that shouldn't be pushed off to the back burner. This is something that should carry heavy in her heart, maybe having some regrets while thinking about Amanda and Wyatt. Also, wow, it's like I tried to stop them from destroying themselves and others around them, but at the same time, look what I did. I killed in order to protect my son, and then he almost took somebody's life while trying to protect himself. It's just very wonky, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you all soon.